Sable figured she had to be adopted. No way was she the progeny of her insanely perky mom and her grinning golf-playing frat boy of a dad. They didn't understand the first thing about her. No one in Greenville did, except for Michaela. They were fast friends since 3rd grade. Up until then, Sable had no friends. She wasn't into ponies or dolls or tea parties with teddy bears. She liked bugs, lizards, riding bikes, and dirt clod fights. Her favorite holiday was Halloween, and Michaela was the only one who didn't think she was crazy when she dyed her hair purple in the 8th grade. Sable's mom was furious. Her dad didn't even notice. Michaela went with her to the mall when she got her ears pierced and helped her pick out her first tattoo, an occult symbol hidden in a place where her parents would never see. Michaela declined to get her own tattoo. She flirted with the dark side, but she didn't live it. Not like Sable. The dark side made sense to Sable, and she reveled in it, partly because it freaked out her parents and teachers, partly because it felt like who she was. Some called her a goth because of the way she presented herself, but she wasn't into labels. She loved horror movies and found the occult exciting and made sense to her. She knew that the shiny suburban world of her mom and dad had a dark underbelly. They were afraid to confront their fear, so they pretended everything was perfect and that they would live forever. But Sable knew better. Death stalked us all, and no one was getting out alive. Michaela got Sable a job at Moonstone, probably the only place in town that would have hired her. She took classes at the local college and produced a guerrilla radio show on the shortwave in her attic. All Things Wicked this night was about the world's dark underbelly, the occult, urban legends, horror, and often there were heated discussions with Michaela about the horror movies they'd catch at the only theater in Greenville. Michaela liked her horror with a little comedy, but Sable liked it meaner, scarier, bloodier. She relished in the gore, enjoyed the terror, liked the adrenaline rush, and their debates were entertaining to say the least. When searching for inspiration for her show, Sable would take walks in the cemetery with all the statues and headstones of early settlers who had founded the town as a sanctuary for those escaping persecution. She often talked about the history on her show, and she formed a theory that the uncanny sightings and disappearances were somehow linked to the town's history. One caller suggested the town was built on top of a fracture. The caller went on to describe a fracture as an overlap between worlds. Another caller said that these fractures were created by an ancient cult devoted to forgotten demons. Another caller defined fractures as a cosmic buffet for an elder god that fed on pain, fear, and misery. And one caller even argued that it wasn't a fracture, but the unknown, a mysterious creature that consumed anyone who dared to imagine it. All the theories made for fun and inspiring debates, and she loved nothing more than to discuss real-life horror until the horror became personal. One evening, Sable had challenged Michaela to tell a real horror story at Moonstone's annual Halloween festival. Scare the crap out of people. Stop dancing around the horror and embrace it. Tell a story about the unknown. Make them imagine it. Make them believe the unknown will show up on stage. Nothing terrifies an audience more than a show that could potentially kill them. Michaela laughed at the idea and declined the challenge because she was working on another story with her roommate. But a strange black fog had taken Michaela during her performance, and Sable felt the icy hand of guilt grab her by the back of the neck. She was convinced that she had somehow sent Michaela to her doom. Did the unknown take her? Did she try to define the unknown? What about her roommate? Her roommate disappeared as well. But then she realized Michaela's story wasn't about the unknown. It was about something else. Another dimension. A dimension filled with terrifying creatures, sadistic killers, and endless horror. It was not the unknown. With this realization, Sable began to investigate other disappearances in Greenville. Before long, she realized most of the disappearances occurred at the theater or somewhere close by. Investigating further, she discovered the theater was built over the ruins of an old one-room schoolhouse that had burned to the ground in the 1920s. Somehow, the students couldn't get out, and everyone perished in the flames. Feeling close to an answer, she continued her research and discovered 2 teenage brothers had recently disappeared from the theater, Elias and Ellen. The only witnesses, their younger sister, Ellen, was committed to an institution after ripping her eyes out. And so, pretending to be a relative, Sable went to talk to Ellen, who admitted she and her brothers had been trying to steal old movie posters from the storage room behind the movie screen. She then described a secret door in the basement and a passageway that led to another place, a dark place, a cold place, an evil place. Stay away from there, she begged. Stay away. But Sable wasn't about to stay away. Not after that story. Determined to see Michaela again, Sable hitched a ride to the theater and soon found the door behind the movie screen. In the darkness, she jimmied the door open with a crowbar and headed down a creaky wooden stairway to a dank cellar. A light switch activated flickering fluorescent lights that illuminated a room filled with broken theater seats and old movie posters dating back 80 years. She searched the sprawling basement and found a thick wooden door hidden behind a poster of the original Frankenstein. She pushed and shoved the door open to reveal an endless circular stairway descending into perfect darkness. Using a pen light to navigate, she descended for 10 minutes before she noticed the cold black fog rising from the lower depths. The same cold black fog that had taken Michaela. Sable considered running back up the stairs to where she would be safe, but then she thought about the terrifying creatures and the sadistic killers and the endless horror, and she quickly decided she wasn't going to let her best friend have all the fun.